everybody, this is Ron with the Ocean State Athlete Spotlight on SFBN Rhode Island. I'm sitting here with Komotay Koffie from the New Mexico State Aggies, and he's back in Rhode Island visiting family after his huge bowl win, and it was pretty amazing because we were able to talk on the phone. We didn't know, it was before the bowl game. We didn't know if the results were going to be, and now here we are sitting with the victory. So amazing,
yes,
so
sir.
Amazing. And so I want to introduce Komotay Koffie to everybody. And I'm going to let Komotay kind of give his story about where he came from in Rhode Island and how he ended up making it out to New Mexico State. So how you doing, Komotay?
How you doing? I'm doing just fine.
Great. Thanks for giving me the time today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anytime.
All right.
Anytime.
Appreciate it. And thanks for that phone interview. It was awesome. And congratulations on your big win.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell everybody what it's like, because, there's not a lot of athletes that come out of Rhode Island and feel a lot of big success. So tell everybody what that was like with that bowl win.
Oh, man, it was just a great experience, all around. Before the game even started, just walking onto the field, University of Arizona, just like standing in the middle of the field, you just looking around. And right before the game, you're like, damn, 48,000 people is going to be sitting in this stadium watching you play. So it is mind-blowing, And then you have cameras in your face 24/7. People's taking pictures of you. People asking for autographs. People's telling you, like, some moms are telling some of our players to sign their babies, It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just a mind-blowing experience. It's everything a kid dreams of, really.
And so, you have to work hard to get to that. So that's where I want you to kind of tell people your story. We talked about it a little bit when we had the phone interview, but this is your chance to really explain to people, where you came from in Rhode Island and how you ended up in New Mexico State.
Right. Some people know me. I came straight from South Providence, I used to go to Juanita Sanchez High School, which is, I don't know if you know it, right next to Roger Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to go there, and at the time when I was going there, we was a D4 school, and we was partnering with PCD, and the competition really wasn't as high as your Bishop Hendricken, as your LaSalle's, as your Central High School, So I guess you can say I was one of the kids you would call a diamond in the rough, but when I was going to the school, everybody knew I stand out, One of the coaches, Coach McCall, who was like my mentor, he always used to be by me. He always guided me. He's the one who told me and advised me I should go down to Knoxville, Tennessee. So at the time, my junior year, I decided to go down to Knoxville, Tennessee, and when I tell you everything was different, the atmosphere, how much they took football so serious, it was unbelievable.
And it's a big area. I mean, Knoxville's huge.
It's huge. It's a huge city, and and the first time I got down there, my name was all over Knoxville. Oh, Komotay Koffie going to Central High School. It was I just couldn't believe it. I'm like the season didn't even start yet, and I was getting so much love from the community.
Right.
Yeah. I had people before my first day of school, people was coming up to me like, you going to play football, right? Oh, we heard about you. You're supposed to be the one to take us to the state championship. Like, honestly, the whole community was just so supportive of me, just coming down there, and they help me feel welcome.
Yeah, because I feel like, high school football in Tennessee is as big as college, right?
Right. Everything's damn near the same thing. When it comes to the media, the interviews, the preparation is close. It's close. College is more intense, but high school football in the South is really up there. And I experienced that, and I'm grateful that I went down there, and I'm grateful for Coach McCall sending me down there, because that's an experience that only comes once in a lifetime, and I'm glad I experienced that.
Yeah, now not everybody has that opportunity, right? So
Right.
So that was great for you to see it and have it and take advantage of it. But what about the kids that are here now? We have a lot of kids, and like you were talking about, the competition being a little different, and like D1, Hendrick and LaSalle, Cranston East, Portsmouth, and Central, and those schools, and then being down, which there is no more D4, but
Right.
Being down in the lower divisions, like what do you think that the kids that are in Rhode Island now need to be doing to try and get to where you are?
Man, the kids in Rhode Island right now, I figured this out just looking at the success of, like you said, Xavier and Jelani, just watching some of these kids go to BC and Michigan, which is like surprising me because I'm like, come on, I'm cheering. I'm like, Rhode Island's coming up there, but the kids in Rhode Island needs to take football to a whole nother level. They need to like get there from. It don't matter what grade they're in, freshman, sophomore, junior. These kids needs to hit camps and they need to hit them hard. They need to get exposure. This whole recruiting is all about exposure. Who you know, and how much is your face out there.
Yeah.
Kids in Rhode Island back in the day, kids in Rhode Island just wished to get a D1 offer, but nobody knew who they was. But it's all about camps, showing your face. You got to go to camps. You got to compete with the best. If you want to be with the best, you got to compete with the best.
Yeah, and there's a lot of camps out there, right? I mean, you know a couple of them, and I just noticed that since you've been home, you kind of went out and worked out with a couple kids too. I mean, you have any recommendations for any of the kids?
Oh yeah. For a lot of camps, I recommend the Spark Combine was the big one. That's the one I went to. Spark Combine really gets your name out there. They should try to get to the NUCs is a good one to go to like help prepare your skills. What's another one? There's a camp in New Jersey. I don't know what it's called. Rivals is a good camp. Rivals is a real good camp. That's how, if you go to a rival camp to make your profile and everything like that. So Rivals, that's one of them my brother went to, and that's how he became a 3-star. So Rivals is a good camp. So Rivals, I would definitely recommend kids.
Not everybody knows who your brother is.
Oh no, my brother's Kuti Pay.
Okay, well, it's just so everybody knew.
Yeah.
So actually, it works, right? Rivals is a great camp.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it works.
Yep.
It definitely works. But a lot of kids in Rhode Island my advice is to step it up. Like our state is being walked on and overlooked, but it's up to the kids it's up to us really to make it like turn around. It's not up to anybody. A lot of people can say Rhode Island's not a football state, but it's up to the players to make it a football state. It's all about how much do you want it. And kids here, their mindset is either they want it or they don't. Some of the few really want it and some of the few really don't. So that's what makes a state a really football state.
Yeah, I think Rhode Island's really coming up. We're getting recognized now a little bit, and some of our youth programs, like we had an FBU team go really far in the All-Star, in the national tournament this year,
right.
And I think they made it to the Final Four. So no one expected that to happen, and there's Rhode Island sitting there with teams like Texas and Oklahoma. So it was pretty great. So now you were in Rhode Island, and you saw your opportunity was to go to Tennessee, and you obviously had a great run in Tennessee. So, and how did all of it transpire for you that you ended up in New Mexico State?
Oh, my journey, man. My journey was unbelievable. So after Tennessee, I had a good season in Tennessee. Balled out, do what I have to do. My SATs wasn't there, unfortunately, and I recommend that to kids. Make sure your SATs is up there because that will hold you back, and that what stopped me from going anywhere, really anywhere. So I've decided to go to a prep school, for a semester, and because the reason why I decided to go to a prep school right before I go to JUCO is because if I can go to a prep school, if I can get my SAT up, number one, I can go D1 and I won't lose a year of eligibility. So which means I still get which means my clock doesn't start and I still get all 4 years back to myself.
Right, that's great. That's important.
Yeah. So I did my research and I figured that out, so I went to a prep school. But unfortunately, still my SAT, I'm just not me personally to speak for a student athlete. I'm just not a good test taker when it comes to that type of test.
Sure.
So
a lot of people have trouble with that.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So I balled out in prep school. So I did my thing at Milford Academy Prep, which is in New York. I balled out, but my SAT wasn't there. Then I ended up going to North Dakota, the JUCO North Dakota. So finally I balled out in my season in North Dakota, and I wasn't, when everything happened after the season, I wasn't really getting nothing, My highlight was there, everything was there. I wasn't really getting nothing from any coaches, and all of a sudden I was at a basketball game. Chilling. I was at a basketball game and my phone rings. And I'm like, who is this, And I answer it and I'm like, hello? And it was my DB coach. He's like, hey, is this Komotay? I was like, yeah. Who's this? He's like, my name is Brian Bell, the DB coach from New Mexico State. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, coach? How you doing? He's like, I'm doing good. And he's like, tell me a little bit about yourself. So I told him about myself, how many years, how many eligibility I had left, where I went to school and everything like that. So he's like, all right, we'll call you back. So I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, I'll leave everything into God's hands. So I was like, he's gonna call me back with C. Man, the next morning, he calls me. It was like he calls me. It was like, how do you feel about coming to New Mexico State? And I'm like, that would be awesome. He was like, well, we want to offer you a full ride scholarship. And it's so crazy because after he offered me a full ride scholarship, I put on Twitter, my DMs on Twitter was blowing up. Ball State, Georgia, big time college pro, Kent State, like coaches were coming at me like all over. Like
they found out someone else wanted you, right?
Yeah. They found out New Mexico State wanted me, so now everybody wanted me. It was like I was the man. Everybody was like, right. So coaches would hit me up like, hey, how you doing, big guy? We love your film, you know? Right. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. I was just getting a whole bunch of attention. They was calling me morning, they was calling me night, morning and night. Hey, how you doing? We want you to be a part of this program. And they're sending me pictures of myself, you know, like the next big thing, the next corner, you know? But Coach Brian Bell, man, he stuck with me, man. He really did. He called me every day. He made sure he was telling me, you know, he was fighting for me also. You know, he was telling me,
right.
he's like, man, they only want you because I want you. But he stuck with me, and he told me, he was like, listen, we want you to come right now. So I was like, right now? He was like, we want you to come right now. We're going to send you a letter of intent. You're going to sign it, and we're going to put you on the first flight to come to New Mexico. So I was like, all right, let me tell my mom about it. He called my mom. He told my mom, listen, your son got a full ride scholarship to play for us.
Yep.
And my mom was the worst, can't even explain how my whole family felt. But I signed my letter of intent. The next thing you know, after I signed my letter of intent, when I blinked, I was on a flight on my way to New Mexico. So everything that day was just moving so fast, but it was a blessing. I just couldn't believe it. But I had to shut down my recruiting down and everything like that. But it was just...
Tell everybody no.
Huh?
You had to tell everybody.
Yeah, I had to put it on. So I put it on Twitter saying I'm 100% committed to New Mexico State, and that's where I was gonna play ball at.
Oh man, so I gotta summarize a little bit so everyone's listening, because you said, man, my journey's crazy, and you just explained it all to me, and I didn't even know some of it.
Yeah.
So you start in Rhode Island, go to Tennessee, end up at prep school, go to JUCO, then end up at New Mexico State. So, at any point there, did you ever feel a little discouraged, or were you ready? You were just like ready to go.
Oh man, I was the definition of a roller coaster. I'll tell you that right now. When it comes to like mood swings and just the ups and I was really going through a whole bunch of like obstacles to get where I'm at right now.
Right.
When I was in Tennessee, I was balling, I was having fun, I was the man, and I was getting looks from college coaches. And right now I was up here. And then when I didn't make my SATs, like everybody just, then that's how you gotta know. You gotta know who your supporter is and who your friends are, because when you're the man, everybody's around you when you're the man. And when everybody realizes, like when they have a slight doubt in your mind that, oh, he's not gonna make it, there's nobody to be found. So that's what I learned too as growing up and being mature. So when I was balling in Tennessee, and when everybody found out my SAT wasn't good and they didn't know where I was going to go, everybody just disappeared. It was like I was like by myself. Wow. I had some of my coaches were around me, here and there, but it was like I was by myself, and I just had to figure what my next move was on myself. But Coach McCall, once again, he stuck by me. He was like, he always had a blueprint for me. He was like, listen, this is what we're going to do. Let's go to prep. So that's what we did. We went to prep school. I did the exact same thing again. I balled out. Couldn't make my SATs, and he came again. He was like, listen, listen, your cousin Putu, he's at a JUCO right now. He committed to the University of Florida. Honestly, I feel like you need to follow Putu's steps and go to this JUCO and ball out, and I guarantee you will get a D1 scholarship. I was like, all right, coach.
So, Coach, even you went to Tennessee, and now you're not talking about your Tennessee coach right now. You're talking about Coach McCall, who, if anyone doesn't know, is the head coach at Classical High School.
Right.
So you're talking about Coach sticking with you in Tennessee and then helping you all the way through.
Right. Helped me all the way through, man. I have another coach. It wasn't just Coach McCall. I had another coach. His name is Coach Peanut. And he's been a blessing too, man. He's been like he's really been a father figure to me, both of them dudes right there. If I ever make it into the league, I want both of them dudes to be there on my draft day, honestly, because without both of them, man, honestly, without both of them, I don't know where I'll be right now. But Coach Peanut and Coach McCall, they really made sure, and they really believed. I have never seen two dudes who believed in the kids so much. They believed in me so much. Like, they called me, hey, are you all right? Coach Peanut always made sure when I was in JUCO and prep school, you doing good? How things going? You balling out? Try this technique. Like, he's always been there for me, honestly. And every time I come back, he trains me. And Coach McCall always been, as soon as I got back, that's the first person I seen. I went back to Juanita, and me and him were just chatting it up, me, him, and my girlfriend. But Coach McCall, he's really been a blessing.
That's amazing. That's just an amazing story. And, you're lucky to have those guys in your life. We're lucky to have coaches like that in Rhode Island that are trying to bring kids forward. And that's, kind of what the point of this show is and why we're talking to you and why I want everyone to hear your story, because it's pretty amazing. It's a fun ride, though. I mean, honestly, it's been great listening to you, and I think everybody out there is probably thinking the same thing. Right.
It's been a hell of a ride, but unfortunately, I'm here now, balling out, and I'm close. I'm so close to make it to the league. I can feel it, and I just need to just keep striving, just keep going, because it's almost there.
So tell everybody you have one more year.
I got 2 more years.
2 more years. So we got 2 more years to watch you, maybe.
Yeah.
Unless you decide, let's see what kind of year you have next year. Maybe you jump.
Yeah.
Now everyone knows who Komotay is. I know a lot of people already did, but another point of this show is that people know each other in their groups, right? Mm. So people in the football world probably knew who you were. People outside the football world in Rhode Island might not have. Mm. And also, even in those groups, people will know players that go to a school that plays in their division. We're trying to open this up in the state of Rhode Island, let you know that, we are overlooked, but there is a ton of talent in this state and a lot of kids that need to get the message from people like Komotay and how hard you have to work and sometimes how many different decisions you have to make to get there. I mean, this guy's been through, most people say, hey, I played at JUCO, or they go, I went to prep school, or he did it all. This guy has done it all. So it's a pretty amazing story, and it's great stuff for the kids to hear. Yes, I appreciate you talking to me.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And I just want, and one of my dreams is obviously make it to the league, but one of my dreams is I just really want Rhode Island to be that state where we're no longer overlooked. I want us all to come together, athletes, including coaches, including parents, the school district, to really turn this state around and just let us compete as a state, because there's no way we're connected to Massachusetts and we're connected to Connecticut and their kids are getting all the looks and we're connected to them. So there's no way how we shouldn't be getting looks either. But I really want the kids in Rhode Island to step it up, because it's not up to anybody. It's up to us to step it up.
Yeah.
As a unit. If we call ourselves Rhode Island, we're representing the state. Parents and everybody will represent the state. We need to step it up together and really make Rhode Island notice, because us stepping it up will help the next generation after your kids as parents. Like, parents should know that. Like, it will help the next generation of kids growing up get looks. And we can turn it around. We see kids going to Michigan. Another kid just got offered by Michigan, Penn State. Jelani going to BC. Like, it's not impossible. I went to New Mexico State. Putu went to Florida. Lee's at UMass. Quiddy's at Michigan. It's not impossible, but we can do it.
Right.
Some kids feel like it's impossible, overlooked. It's only one in a million chance. No, you can do it. It's up to you. You control your own destiny. Just believe in God and you can go far anyway.
Yeah, and I think, you doing the show, and Quiddy's talked to me and Jelani's talked to me, and all the guys you've mentioned Lee, I was on my radio show, and you guys have that little bit of responsibility too to come down here and just what you said to the kids, right. We need you guys to stand there and represent us and get the kids motivated. You know, especially when you become pro, man.
Right.
Even when you get big time, you got to come back. Like
Yes,
Will,
sir.
Will Blackman, right? He comes down.
Yeah, I always will come down. Always. You know, this is home. Rhode Island will always be home. I always represent the 401. Wherever I go, I always tell them Rhode Island. People be like, where's Rhode Island? I'm like, don't worry about it. Just know.
Yeah.
Just know it's a dangerous place when it comes to talent. That's what I tell them every time. Don't worry about it. Just know it's something serious when you go in that
Sleeping giant.
Yeah,
right?
sleeping giant. We're coming. And, you know, I just see it. High school football. I feel like we just need to take high school football way more seriously here. I feel like that's where it starts. And we take high school football way more seriously, the sky's the limit for Rhode Island, honestly. Because that's how you get recruited, high school football, you know? And we just need to take it serious, man. We take Rhode Island football so serious, I promise you. I'm telling you, I know what I'm saying. I promise you. If we take high school football in Rhode Island serious, like how they do it down south, the sky's the limit. Woo. Next thing you know, we're going to be seeing kids like sophomores going to like SEC schools, like big-time schools, you know?
Yep, it's there.
Yeah, it's there. It's coming little by little, inch by inch, but I feel like we got to pick it up now. Everybody just got to pick it up. I'm talking to all Rhode Island athletes out there, everybody out there. Pick it up. Let's go.
Yeah, you hear him. You hear Komotay.
Close.
So, wow. This has been awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you talking to me
appreciate
so
you coming
much.
out.
Oh, anytime. And you know, like I said, I've been talking to Komotay for a while now. We've been planning this and the interviews and stuff. And he's been very open to talk to me because he knows that I'm trying to share this message to Rhode Island, and he's been very helpful. So I appreciate that, and all you guys should appreciate that as well.
Yes, sir. And I got you a bull hat.
Yeah, he's got me a bull hat too. Hey, I can't hate on that, right? So, all right, guys. Well, look, this has been the Ocean State Athlete Spotlight with Ron Robert. SFBN Rhode Island, and we were with Komotay Koffie, an amazing interview, and we appreciate him talking to us. Thanks.
Yes, sir.